Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is going to be this week's Top 5 Wednesday topic, which is your least favourite book in your favourite series. Now I have to reiterate and stress that I did not dislike or hate any of the books I'm about to show you, but they just happen to be my least favourite instalment in series that I loved as a whole. So without further ado, I'm going to get right on into it, and I'm going to get this one out the way first. My least favourite Harry Potter book is The Order of the Phoenix. This is obviously book 5, and the reason I picked this is because it took me a long time to get through when I first read it. I was only about 12 or 13 I think, and it is the longest one. It is well over 700 pages, so that's quite hard for someone that young to read, even though I was already really into and loving the series. I feel like the first third of this book is really quite slow and quite not a lot happens. The rest of it definitely makes up for it. The rest of it is really exciting, really emotional, heartbreaking ending of course, but yeah, I've still reread this book loads and loads of times since then, so it's still an amazing book in an amazing series. So it's really hard to pick a bad Harry Potter book because there are none, but yeah, I've gone for this one purely because of I feel the beginning doesn't grab you like all of the other books do, so yeah. The next one I have is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Throne of Glass series, which is my favourite series after Harry Potter. So this is an incredible series and I really enjoyed this book. The reason I picked this one for my least favourite Throne of Glass book is just because I don't feel it has a lot of the best characters in the series in it. I think the best characters come in the third and fourth books, which we have now. So I think if you've only read Throne of Glass of this series and you were just kind of like, oh, it's okay, but I didn't love it, I thoroughly recommend that you pick up Crown of Midnight and you read the rest of the series, because this series gets a whole lot better, I promise you. Yeah, I mean, obviously in this book we're introduced to Selena, who is incredible and awesome, and she's an amazing character, but it just doesn't have, I feel like, the best elements of this series haven't really started yet in this, so yeah, that's why I've picked it, but it's still a good book, definitely, so yeah. The next one I have is End of Days by Susan E. This is the last book in the Penryn and End of Days trilogy. This just fell a little bit flat for me, and I think that's quite a popular opinion for people who've read this trilogy. It was supposed to be more books, I think, and that really shows. There could have been so much more. The characters had a lot more potential, and therefore it was just like, oh, well, why is this the end? You know, I want more now. So yeah, just wasn't happy with the ending, but it's a really good trilogy. The first two books I gave 5 stars, and this one I only gave 4 to, so still really enjoyed it, but you know, it should have been more. I don't know why they cut it. It's really annoying, but yeah, there you go. And the fourth one I have to show you is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Grisha trilogy. I read this trilogy October last year, so I'm still fairly new to it, I guess. I feel this book has second book syndrome. I really do. I don't really remember a lot of what happened in it, whereas I remember a lot of the first book, Shadow and Bone, and I remember a lot of the last book, Ruin and Rising, and I don't really remember a whole lot of what happened. I remember obviously main events, but I don't remember like most of it, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's why I picked it. It's still an awesome trilogy. If you like YA fantasy, then I definitely recommend the Grisha trilogy, but this is just my least favourite of them. So yeah. And the last one I have to show you, I think this is quite a popular opinion, so I don't think I'm going to upset too many people, and that is, if it's turn on, Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is obviously the last instalment of the Hunger Games trilogy. I'm a really big Hunger Games fan. I feel like I don't say that enough on this channel, but I really am. But Mockingjay is just, I felt like it was rushed. There was way too much going on in one book. I couldn't really kind of keep track of who was where at what time. Yeah, and it didn't have the excitement, and it didn't draw me in as much as the other 2 books did. Catching Fire is my favourite one, but this I just kind of felt like, No, wasn't happy with the ending of Hunger Games at all. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I do have a film review of Allegiant on my blog, and so I will leave that link down below. I will also leave all of my social media down below. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.